Welcome to day 124 of the 300 movie challenge. Today we would have watched the highest grossing film of September 2004, which was Resident Evil Apocalypse, but no one wants to see that.
Nope.
Instead, we ended up watching
A movie that we
and
totally
rounding,
wanted to see.
and rounding out the Matrix trilogy with the Matrix Revolutions, and I want to say one thing. Cookies need love like everything does.
Oh my god.
You have to. Where's the laugh? You got to do the laugh.
Oh. That's how he did it.
And if anything, yours was more realistic.
More realistic.
Yeah.
Ha 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 ha. Like that.
Okay, let's just stop.
Let's shut up and start the review.
So, one small disclaimer, there is currently a thunderstorm here, so any thunderstorm, like thunder sounds and stuff, that's not sound effects. That's despite
be
most
funny
of
if
the
it
movie
was.
being with a thunderstorm, that is not, this is not sound effects.
So, I want to address something actually, first of all.
Mm.
Because I didn't really realize this. I feel like this is something that's fairly common, like thing that people have realized, but I didn't realize it until it was pointed out to me. And there was so both of
Yeah.
them, but Mai was the one who brought it up originally. At the end of the last movie, like the very end, like what happens that and then you had a reaction to it.
You mean the last movie was, let me just check.
Reloaded.
Right. Do you mean like the ending where it was like some Randy, or was it something else that I pointed out? I don't remember.
When Dio seems to somehow take control of the machines.
Oh yeah.
And you
yeah,
were like,
where-
you fucked everything up, right? In that scene.
yeah.
So here's the thing.
Wait, why didn't he?
Well, hold on. They could have salvaged that. You know how?
How?
If
When he was blind?
No. If reality, quote unquote,
Was actually another
a-
Matrix.
Yes.
Right.
Like, think about that though. Like, that would have been a fantastic twist.
So it's like a Matrix and a Matrix and so it's like it would have been the first Inception then.
If you want to
Yeah.
think of it like
If they
that.
did
But
that.
like, no, because like that literally makes so much sense. It's that you have this Matrix, and then when people get out, they're like, "Oh, see, it is a conspiracy. It's this war that we're fighting and all this stuff." But then, like, you know, it's not. Like, there's actually another layer to it, and like, you don't like think that would have been a really good twist. It would have solved that problem, which makes no fucking sense, right?
Yeah.
It would have fixed like so many problems. Like, of course, the romance is dumb and the dialogue is not that great, but like, you know what I mean? It would have at least made like the story interesting.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no, it's just that he can like control machines now because he can, and like, yeah,
I
it's
feel
just,
like it was like to add on to that. Well, in the second movie, he could control machines and stuff. In the third movie, while one would think that being blind was like a detriment and stuff, it was like, nope, he has a new superpower now.
It's like Daredevil all over again.
yeah.
Worse though, because at least in Daredevil, you can see like the kid's angst for like at least a tiny portion and stuff, and he still had to learn Braille and whatever. It wasn't that great, but at least he had like some minor consequences. Here, he just gets a bandage, and then he can see everything in a golden light. Like he doesn't even have to read Braille or anything. He just like
I think the idea is that he can see like the machines and see he's like connected with them. That's why he can
That's
control them.
stupid.
But no, it is stupid, and like it doesn't actually answer the damn question of how and why. So yeah,
I
it's,
guess here's another thing. Why didn't he use that power again? With all the goddamn machines like being everywhere.
well, no, he was when like they were trying to attack the ship, and he was like blowing them up beforehand or whatever before they could
But
get
why
to it.
wasn't
But that's
as like
controlling them. That's just blowing them up.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like
it's dumb.
yeah, the story of this is dumb, And like, okay, there's
The mech fight.
yeah, okay, like there's a
I was
couple things.
promised a mech fight.
No, exactly. There's like all these mechs, like, oh, it's gonna be really badass, and the entire thing is just them standing there and shooting.
Yeah.
It's like,
It's just like,
yeah.
why? And if you think of it, the design of it's pretty stupid too, because they're fighting machines in these mechs, but they're completely exposed in the mechs, and they're not even wearing armor or like helmets or anything.
Putting Gundams to shame.
It's just so sad because it's like that was such a setup for again. At least the last movie, Reloaded, had a couple good action scenes. And
Yeah.
it's like
The highway.
yeah, the highway and like the Clone Smith fight. But here it's like the two big action scenes were just wasted potential. There was the mech one, which again they're just standing there shooting, and that guy with like who honestly looks really funny while he yells.
Yeah.
He's like, ah, and I'm like, dude, your mouth is
I feel like
huge.
he was trying to like
Ham
imitate
it up.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, but
I
it didn't
Uh,
quite pan out.
yeah.
So that was just so lame. And then the final fight with Agent Smith, like, it's just another round where they're just punching each other one-on-one. And there's, if anything, there's even more, like, slow-mo that's not needed at all.
Yeah, and like, wait. He was surrounded by all the clone Smiths in this one too. Why didn't they fight?
Yeah, no. Okay, so this is really actually kind of funny. The video game for this
Yeah.
movie changed the final boss because they were like, this is lame. So what they did is they basically Shadow the Colossus it and like had all of the clones like form a giant clone together.
Oh my
Like
god.
even if that's
That would be
goofy,
funny.
that would at least be interesting and different, right? This is just the
So-
same shit we've already seen. It's just with more slow-mo and like water effects. Like
So we could
water.
have gotten Mega Smith.
Yeah,
Mega
basically.
Ah, I'm mad now.
Like they're just there's moments where this could be at least entertaining, and it's not. And
I feel like they could have done a lot more with the final fight too, because like they
Yeah.
could maybe reference, like even if they kept Agent Smith out who he was and stuff, I feel like they could have done more with the scenery in the background and set the stage better. Like maybe they went back to like where their first fight was, or maybe they like reference scenes from the first Matrix movie, so it's like, okay, we're back at the beginning now and stuff. Like
I think they try to do that a little bit because like when he does like the whole like hand like come at me kind of thing, like but like that's it kind of. So
yeah, but
Yeah.
I feel like it would have felt better if they did something with like the scenery and
When you
stuff where they
mentioned-
referenced it and everything, as opposed to just some random street and it's just like,
Mhm.
oh, am I
You
supposed
mentioned-
to?
When you mentioned like changing things, I was wondering why Agent Smith didn't like, take on someone else's form, like Morpheus's form or even Trinity's form, because she like fucking dies. Spoiler
Oh wait,
alert.
that would actually been really interesting. Yeah, so he could change his fighting style, or it could even just be like, could Neo actually bring himself to hit Trinity? They're so in love,
that-
right?
Yeah.
It would be like super cliche, but just considering the fact that every other time she's threatened, he's like, deer in the headlights, no, I can't hurt Trinity.
No.
No.
Yeah. Oh,
I have a whole thing with that whole death thing too. So the last movie, he was like, nope, I'm not going to save the world and everything because I have to go save Trinity. And then he goes and he saves her, quote unquote, but she's kind of dying and stuff because there's like a bullet that's going to her heart or something like that.
Oh god, don't remind me of that.
And then it's just like he uses some weird theme of Bobby thing to like move to like restart her heart or whatever. And it's like, what? And then you're just like, okay. And then you see her alive in here, only for her to die in this film.
No, and even
And
like
it's kind of like, what was the whole point of saving her in the other film?
no, because at least
And not even just saving her, but just saving her in such a weird, abstract way that doesn't make any sense.
and even
And
then
then killing her here.
yeah, and even then, at least it was weird, but like at least that was kind of like a big focus of that movie.
Yeah.
Here it's just like, oh shit, she died. Like, what?
It's like what that one guy said when someone came up to Deck and was like, "Oh yeah, someone got murdered," and he's like, "Dang it!"
Oh, yeah.
Dang it! Oh yeah, and then also with the death scene, Keanu Reeves, your acting
Yeah.
in that scene was so unbelievable in the way where it's unspace believable. I was just like, did you even try? I'm just thinking of like the fact that that one scene with the room where Tommy was always like, I did not hit her. I just thought of that. I was just like,
You are
there
tearing me
another
apart,
take?
Trinity.
Oh my god.
was there another take? Like, you cannot die, Trinity. No. Ah, and then he does the scream at the end.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't even know whose fault it was. Is it really him? Is it the directors? The writers? Like, it feels like everyone kind of fucked this up.
I mean,
Even
be fair,
Trinity
the
was
Matrix-
deadpan during her death.
I mean, to be fair, The Matrix was never really meant to be a trilogy, and you can tell that too, because it
Yeah.
kind of veers off. Like, since when did it become a war and everything? Since when did Zion become a thing? Since when did him getting all these weird superpowers that doesn't make any sense become a thing?
Yeah, like, the first one... Look, I definitely understand people who are like, the first one has flaws. It's like, yeah, it does. Like, again, the dialogue's not that great, and, like, the
Yeah.
characters are not that interesting. But, like, it works for what it is, and again,
Especially
it tries something new, and it's you know, it was different for what it was, and it was interesting, and it was fun, and it had some stuff in it that was nice. It's an enjoyable thing to watch. These last two, yeah, there's no point.
yeah.
It's just a giant cash grab.
Yeah, so it's just
Has no integrity.
I don't know.
It's just like a hoe.
Oh my god.
The two
Well-
movies are hoes.
Well, I will at least say one thing. At least it didn't become Transformers or Fast and Furious.
Where they just kept
Yeah.
going. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't
Yeah, wait.
I don't know.
At the end, I don't wait. Can I? At the end, is Neo dead or?
Yes. Again, it's not really explained. he kind of
like everything else.
No,
in
literally,
this
the end of
movie?
this doesn't make a lot of sense. It's just like, okay, so he lets Smith absorb into his body, which somehow kills Smith, but then also
that part didn't
kills
get explained either.
Neo, I guess, and then, like, stuff happens. It doesn't make any sense.
The way I feel about the movie at the end is that it just kind of stops.
Yeah,
It's
it
just-
does.
Yeah.
There's no conclusion. It just kind of there's like a scene that happens that's a little bit weird, and then you have like the Oracle talking to like
The architect.
what is it, KFC guy, General Sanders
Colonel
or something.
Sanders. you idiot.
Colonel Sanders, fine.
You uncultured
No.
swine.
The Oracle and Colonel Sanders are talking at the end, and then it just kind of stops.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mentioned this during the movie, but when they would be giving like info dump sessions and stuff, like normally when they give info dumps, you kind of are supposed to come out of it being like, oh, okay, this makes more sense and stuff. But when I came out of it, I was like, somehow I feel more confused than when I went
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
started.
every sort of time when there's any sort of dialogue, either it's like very obvious, we are going to do this, or it's like complete like philosophical nonsense.
Yeah.
It's not even philosophical anymore. It's just
Nonsense.
weird nonsense, drivel. It's like it's basically pretentious drivel
Yeah, it's
at
just
that point.
no. It's like the Tom Cruise in Collateral. It's like that's
Yeah,
every
yeah.
character.
Yeah, even my poor boy Morpheus.
Honestly, Morpheus like barely even does anything in this movie.
I
Like,
know,
he's not
yeah.
important.
Him.
After the last movie where they basically messed up his character, he just went silent.
Yeah, they could have just killed him in this movie, and no one would have cared. He's the only one alive in this movie. After the end of like this one is Like,
honestly, I didn't feel like any sadness towards any of the characters.
no,
No.
I
Like,
was
even
just
when
like,
Trinity died, I was just like, I guess she
sucks to be
died.
you, I guess.
Yeah, because I told Val, and I was like, I think the only thing I know about this movie is that Trinity dies. And then it happened, and I was like,
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah, pretty
Like,
much.
When, for, like, other characters that movies that, like, I knew that certain characters were going to die, I'd obviously feel more sad or be like, maybe it's not going to happen, but obviously it does happen.
Yeah, here's kind of the comparison, I guess. The Sixth Sense. We knew the twist, we knew the whole
Yeah.
ending,
That's a
Yeah.
good comparison.
but it fucked all of us up still.
Yeah, like, okay, even for me, well, okay, I'm not gonna really say too much about this, but my favorite moment in any piece of fictional media ever, I was spoiled on. I already knew that it was going to happen, and it's still my favorite moment, like, ever, okay? So, it can still work really well, because, again, it's not just the what, but it's the how and the why
Yeah.
and the actual build-up to it. It's kind of, you know, especially, like, for example, a death, it's supposed to be tragic, right? It's supposed to be because here was this great person who had all this stuff going for them, and now it's all lost. And, like, that emotional weight is supposed to be enough, even if you knew it was coming. Honestly, I think I hope I said this before in another movie. I mean, we've seen like 120 of these, so I don't remember what I've said. But it was that a twist, being unexpected, is like the least important thing of a twist.
Yeah, I think you've said this before.
It's like, yeah, it
Yeah.
should be. It should.
Oh, I think it was Mission Impossible you said this for.
I have no idea how you
I
could possibly
think-
remember that, but it has to add something to the story, and it has to make sense after the fact, and also there has to be like emotion behind it as well, both in terms of the character who's actually dying and like people's reactions around them and all this kind of
Yeah.
stuff. You know, it's like, yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of a good example. Yeah, well, I'm trying to think of an example where like it was kind of obvious someone would die, but I can't really think of an example
thought of
that's
one.
not.
Oh, Mufasa.
That was the first person that I thought of.
That's
too.
fair.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of somebody from a game that I prefer not to mention, but whatever.
You can use Mufasa as an example.
Sure, that works. And again, that doesn't mean that like unexpected twists are bad. I'm not saying that at all. It's just people, I think, focus too much on like, ooh, you didn't see it coming, and it's like, okay, and what else? You know, it is
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
so
Because if there's no weight to it and no significance, then what's the point of having the twist?
Right.
If it doesn't
Yeah.
change a goddamn thing.
yeah,
Then it doesn't feel like a twist. It's just like a surprise.
plot device.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plot device. Good way to put it. Trinity is a plot device.
yeah,
She's a plot device in every movie, including the first movie.
yeah. Honestly, she's
Yeah.
probably the weakest thing about the first movie.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's only because to bring Neo back, isn't it?
Yeah.
Stop doing this to female characters, guys. Stop.
I think the worst offender is still Mary Jane.
Oh, easily.
Yeah. Mary Jane, if I was to
still
pick who was
angry
to
about
die.
that last scene in the movie.
Oh my god. Oh my god, yeah. That bitch.
Anyway, speaking of horrible things,
Oh, and yeah, my grand finale will be someone else's childhood trauma.
Oh, don't remind me.
you know what's kind of sad though? I found someone else talking about the movie we're about to see, and I saw
Really?
so many comments saying I like this movie
What?
with like hundreds of thumbs up, and I'm like, how?
Actually, yeah, we should show her that video one of these days.
Did you actually see it? Because I sent it to you.
I
but-
watched it,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. No, but like literally there were so many comments about like this, I love this movie. It's a great movie. You're just being too harsh on it. And it's like you have
No.
no fucking standards at
No.
all.
I don't,
No. 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 No.
okay. So
The one hint
well-
I'm gonna give is that about it also is that, and this is the incredibly depressing part.
Mhm.
This movie, and again, I know that the fact that I'm even bringing this up is kind of irrelevant and defeats the purpose, but whatever. And honestly, I'll be going into this context a lot more later on, way later on. But in terms of audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, it has a higher score than Star Wars: The Last Jedi. So yeah. Anyway,
We'll get to that.
see you guys then.
Bye.